Hello, Arty Peoples, and welcome to another episode of Jerry's Live. My name is Emmy Klein. I'm your host this evening, and as you can see, we have a guest on the show today. I want you all please to welcome Lisa from Magnani. Hopefully I said that right.
Yeah, that's
Pronunciation's
correct.
not my strong suit.
No, that was perfect. Thank you very much, Emmy.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm very excited to go over the amazing papers that you guys have. But before we officially jump into it, I wanted to remind you all that if you are looking to check out any of the products that we are going to be going over today and all these amazing Magnani watercolor papers, go to the website JerrysArtarama.com and type in today's class code, which is JL336. So if you type that in the search bar on our website, the teacher's card should come up, and everything that we have should be able for you to check it out there. So let's jump into watercolor paper. I'm very excited.
Thank you very much, Emmy, for having me today. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm so excited. And yeah, today I think my name's Lisa. Emmy already introduced me. I'm the product manager of Magnani 1404, which is a paper mill from Italy, from Europe. So yeah, today I think we're going a little bit to talk about the history of the brand, the Magnani brand, a little bit about history of paper making, maybe some things that you didn't know yet. And yeah, and then we're of course going to talk a little bit about the products that are now available at JerrysArtarama.com, online and in stores.
Yes.
So we're very excited about that. And yeah, and then I'm just going to talk you through a little bit of, we're going to do some swatches, show you a little bit our watercolor papers. Yeah, that's very important. I forgot to mention that. Today we're going to focus on the watercolor range. We have a lot of different papers, but today is going to be only about watercolor.
Yes.
So yeah, let's get started.
All right, so the name, Magnani 1404. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. So as the brand name already says, we're from 1404, so 2024, 620 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of paper making.
Yeah.
A lot of paper.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have a quite long history. We're from Italy, based in Tuscany. Yeah, very exciting. In a little town, I don't think anyone of you knows it, but it's called Pescia. So yeah, and we've been making papers for over 600 years. So, and yeah, it's our legacy, and it's what we truly love to do. Our purpose is to give you guys basically the best surface possible for your sensitivity. So that's what we're all about. Yeah, so it's a long history. Actually, over the years, there have been a lot of different famous artists that used our papers, that have painted on our papers, and that's very exciting. So we had, for example, we had Napoleon Bonaparte, who, he actually commissioned to our paper mill the wedding invitations, for his wedding with Marie-Louise of Austria. And still today, we have the original watermark of the effigies of Napoleon in our paper museum in Pescia.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but we have a lot of other artists, like for example Picasso or De Chirico, Gottuso, Pietro Annigoni, which is, maybe we will see that next time when I'll be here. So yeah, there have been a lot of different very exciting, very famous painters that throughout the years chose our papers as their preferred surface to paint on. So that makes us very proud, of course. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so I do know that you guys, and we've already been discussing all of your papers, so we got a little insider information. But I know you have, it's amazing paper, but you have a variety of types of paper.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, you mentioned this is, we're only going over the watercolor paper today. So any of the other ones, we're going to touch base on that later this year when I bring Lisa back. And maybe I can convince people to just send me to Italy.
Yeah, that would be great.
Jerry's goes to Italy, right? But for the watercolor paper, Can you
Yeah.
walk me through the different types and kind of the inside information on what each one has to offer?
Absolutely. Let's do that. So, yeah, basically, we start off with what we have here on our desk. One thing that is unique to Magnani, for example, is that we in Magnani we try for us it's like every paper has its own soul, and yeah, it's truly
that.
like that. So that's why, for example, for our watercolor papers, rather than other brands who have like one brand and then they have the three surfaces, like cold press, hot press, and rough. In Magnani, we identify each surface with its own name. This because we think that every paper has its own soul and meaning. So Italia is cold press, Portofino is hot press, and Toscana is rough.
Okay. That is very good to know, especially because if you are looking for that, also it is written down here just in case anybody's looking for that, and it is also specified on our website in case you're shopping it that way. But I think that's amazing how you guys say that it has its own soul. That makes it just a little bit more meaningful, I think.
Yeah.
I love that. Now, beyond that though, I know you also have different weights of paper.
Yeah, correct.
Within each of these different types.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So, I do know, I can see right here one definite difference. And if you are watching on Instagram or TikTok, make sure you bump over to YouTube or Facebook, because then you'll be able to see a bigger screen and more of what I'm discussing. But let me just scooch this over so that way it'll be visible for them as well. But right here.
Yeah, correct.
So, you have a 140 pound or 300 GSM.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the 300 pound is 640 GSM.
Correct. So we have to be careful on that because sometimes it can get confusing. In Europe, we have the grams per square meters, and in the US, you have pounds. So make sure that you always, go for the one that you're searching for. So the 140 is the standard watercolor weight. And then we have also the 300 grams, which is a higher weight. Basically, it's double the weight per sheet. So, yeah.
She's thick.
Yeah.
It's a thick paper. Now, with like this one right here, can I get this within the 140 and the 300?
This one in particular, no.
Okay.
But we have blocks, 4-size glued blocks, as you can see in the 300 pound weight.
This one right here.
Exactly.
So it is actually glued on all 4 sides.
Exactly.
Which is wonderful. And there is a little bit of, it's up here in the corner where that glue is broken,
Correct.
where you can actually pull it off with a palette knife.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have inside of our watercolor range, we have 3 different types of blocks and pads. We have, as we already showed with Emmy, the 4-size glued blocks, which are the more traditional ones.
And then this is the pads that you just said, right?
Exactly. Then we have 1-side glued pads.
That's why I can actually pick this up and turn it almost like a book.
Exactly. They're glued on only one side, like also this one.
Which is, there we go.
Exactly.
Which is, it's the same exact kind of binding that you would expect on the 4-sided block is this. So you're not going to have to like rip off the sheet in a funny way.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it's just, it's very understandable as to how to remove that. I love that.
And the 4-size glued are basically available in all the more traditional sizes. Sometimes people wonder why, as a 4-size glued block, rather expends on the expensive side in comparison to a 1-side glued. It's because all of our blocks are glued by hand.
Oh,
yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, because we want to ensure the quality of our products, of course. So we want to make sure to give you the best quality possible. So it's a handmade process. Our paper masters, they do it by hand. So of course it takes much more time to glue on all 4 sides rather than only on one side.
That makes complete sense.
Yeah. And what's also very interesting on the 4-size glued is that they're glued on all 4 sides because they're when you paint with a lot of water, especially when we're talking about watercolor, it can happen that the paper tends to buckle a little bit. So as it's glued on all 4 sides, you will make sure that the paper stays flat, and you are ready to when the painting is dried, you're ready to just take it off with your palette knife,
which I will be showing you guys how to do in a little bit as well.
Exactly. So
once I start painting on this. But this is something that I definitely love for plein air painting.
Exactly.
It's so easy to take out and have it not have any of those buckle issues, and be able to load up the paint, especially because you're usually painting so fast, trying to capture the light and the colors that you're seeing. So this is really, really wonderful for plein air painting. The other ones where it's the pad, I also really love them if I just pop them in my backpack, honestly. But I usually use those for like more of like quick little sketches, and I don't cover the entire surface with water, but it's still a wonderful surface to actually be painting on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We offer all of the 3 surfaces are available in all the different sizes, and in Magnani we have a lot of sizes.
Yes, which includes a really fun one, and I feel like we need to show it off here really quickly, because we have a couple other ones as well down there. So not only do we have the Toscana in the tall, skinny version, we also have it in a nice like smaller landscape, which is again something that I would absolutely shove into my backpack and have this just ready to go at any time. But as you can see, I have round watercolor blocks as well.
Yeah, this is very unique to Magnani, and it's my favorite, I have to tell you. So, but
don't blame you. It's a fun surface.
Yeah.
Now you will notice, and I do apologize for this, there is a bit of a glare on the big one, and there's a reason for that, because I wanted to keep the plastic wrap on that, because they're round. I would assume it's an odd shape, so because of that, you had to glue it.
Yeah,
all the way around.
Exactly. They're glued all the way around. So, and they come with an opening here. Here it says open. So this is where you can insert your palette knife or your cutter or letter opener. Yeah.
I think I left my palette knife over there. I was grabbing it to go bring it back over here, and I think I left it. Yes. Thank you. I do apologize. I meant to bring it over here, but yeah, so all you have to do is very easily stick it into the slot here, when you can see like the separation, where that little open sign is, and then just easily, whoop, let me get this lined up here. There we go. Just push it around nice and gently. You should not be forcing this really difficult. It should just be very easy to pop open. And then, this is the part that I was talking about. It's an odd thing. You have your beautiful surface to paint on.
Exactly. Yes. But the thing is that with these rounds, which are very beautiful, but once you remove the cover, you're not able to put the cover back on it. So that's why we provide the rounds with a very nice cotton pouch. So perfect.
This is the one that came with the little circle, and it's so cute. So yeah, you can pop that right in there once it's done, and then tighten it, and now your paper is protected again. Exactly. Which is why I wanted to leave that packaging on, so you guys can see it does come with the pack, and that's why.
Exactly. So you can put it in your backpack, and you're ready to go, and the first sheet is always protected. Yeah.
Which is absolutely adorable. But yes, I will have many of these in my bags. So yes, you guys have the round in, this reminds me of the size. Sorry, this is
a 6-inch.
Yes.
Exactly, and we also have it in a bigger one, which is this one, which is the double, it's 12-inch. So, and they both come with, obviously, the cotton pouch, yeah.
And I can actually remove the plastic off of this now.
Yeah.
We gotta play with this. So, then I also noticed that you guys have a lot of fun kind of logos here.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about
that? We call them certifications.
Oh.
So yeah, on each pad you will find some pictograms that are referring to our certifications that are obviously about the paper that is inside. So the first one, you will see the one on top, this one exactly, that's the mold made picto. So this stands for identifying the paper making process of this paper, how it's made basically.
Okay.
In the paper making world, you have 3 different types of paper making. You can either make it by hand, or on a mold made machine, or machine made, which is more like the industrial way of making papers.
Which I would imagine is faster, but...
Exactly, absolutely. But yeah, the mold made process is what identifies basically Magnani. All our papers are exclusively mold made, and what is different from, for example, the machine made process is that the machine runs at a slower pace. So it allows the fibers, in this case the cotton fibers, to settle evenly on a cylinder mold, which is covered by a wire mesh. And this cylinder mold rotates inside of a vat, which is filled with cotton pulp and water. 95% of water and only 5% of fibers, which is very interesting because...
Wouldn't that just fall apart?
Yeah, exactly. Water is an essential requirement when you're making paper. It's very, very important.
That makes sense.
So basically what happens is that the cylinder rotates, and when it rotates, the water flows through the mesh, obviously, but the fibers, they stay on top of it.
Oh,
so, yeah.
Okay.
And that's how we make our paper. What is important, something that I want to suggest to you guys when you're choosing your surface to paint on, is that there are two factors that I would evaluate when you're choosing your paper. The first one is, of course, the raw material that is used. But the second one, and I think it's the most important one, is how the paper has been made. I know that a lot of time people, refer only, it's 100% cotton, so it must be good. Of course, it's better. The cotton fibers are the superior raw material when we're talking about watercolor paper. It makes the paper more flexible, more resistant, more absorbent. So, absolutely. But you have to make sure that also the paper making process is the correct one. And when choosing your paper to paint on, I would recommend to go on a mold made paper, because it gives, let's say, the consistency of a machine made paper, because it's still mechanically made on a machine. So your paper quality will be consistent throughout every production batch, but it gives that unique touch and feeling that you get from a handmade paper.
Okay. I was gonna ask that. I feel like it would be. This does feel like a handmade paper.
Yeah.
Meets a machine-made paper.
Exactly.
It's like a nice in between, because it's not crazy rough or like irregular, but it does have that consistency between every page. Exactly. But it does have that that really. I love this paper. So exciting. Okay. So the next one down is acid free.
Exactly. This one is the acid free. You will see this logo on a lot of, on ours of course, but also on other papers. And it refers to basically the pH of the paper, of the fibers inside. So normally an acid-free paper has a pH higher than 7. So for example, when we are talking about these watercolor papers, they're made out of 100% cotton. So what is unique to cotton fibers is that the cotton fibers are naturally lignin free. So, and these makes 100% watercolor cotton papers already acid free. So I don't know if I messed up, but yeah, it's a very technical thing. Also, for example, if it's not cotton, you normally have wooden pulp. So which comes from woods, and also wood fibers can be lignin free because we add a buffer, an alkaline buffer to the recipe, to the mixture, and this will make your paper acid free. But what is really important is that when you get a 100% cotton paper, it's already from nature naturally lignin free, so it will have a higher archivability. Do you say that?
Yes.
Yeah, so it will be the best archival quality for your paintings.
Which is 100% what we as artists are always looking for. We want to make sure that our artwork is going to be standing the test of time. So why would you put something like your paintings on like a very acidic paper? It's gonna just degrade over time.
Exactly.
All right, which I feel like
leads to
right into the next one, which is long life.
Exactly. Acid free and long life are very strongly linked. Long life ensures that the paper is compliant with an ISO standard. I actually don't remember the number. Sorry.
That is okay. I don't know
but
it
it's an ISO standard. And it ensures that your paper is chemically and physically stable over time.
That is important.
It will resist time, it will resist, for example, UV rays, it will not yellow, and this is very important when you're choosing the surface that you want to paint on.
Now,
and the last one,
which we can pull it up here,
is OBA free.
Now,
so
definitely explain that because I don't know what OBA stands for.
Exactly. OBA is an acronym. It stands for Optical Brighteners Agents. Yeah.
Okay. So do tell, what is an optical brightening agent?
It's a chemical substance that is added to the paper recipe, and basically what they do, they make your paper seem more bright, more white when you look at it. For example, when you go into a club, you know, and you have like the white.
Okay, I'm here. All right.
And you have the white T-shirts.
Yeah.
And they become fluorescent.
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 Yes.
Sorry.
No,
English is not my first language.
Amazing. It's a hard word too. It's fluorescent.
Exactly.
It's a weird word. But yes, so it turns fluorescent.
This is what OBAs are. So if you put a sheet of paper, for example, a common copy paper sheet that you use in your printer at home, if you put it against UV light, you will see that the paper will turn like violet, you know. So it will stand out. It will be bright, and this is how you recognize if your paper has OBAs inside or not. And what these OBAs do is that, in the first place, when you buy your paper, it's perfect. It's white, it's bright, and look how beautiful it is. But then, with the passing of time, what happens is that these brightness agent will actually change the color of your paper. They will degrade over time.
And I'm guessing they're going to go yellow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's never ideal. Never ideal.
Exactly.
So the agent that they put in to make it look nice, crisp, bright white yellows it over time. That's sneaky.
So you don't want that.
Good to know. So that's a huge one then.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
And I've been while you've been talking, I've just been putting down just fun colors. Because I wanted to show a couple different options on the different surfaces, and I will be doing this with all of them.
So this one is, I think, the Italia. So it's cold press. It's our cold press surface.
Okay, let me actually move this a little bit out of the way because I think we need to go to that side camera, then you guys can really see this. I'm not gonna be able to pick this up and really show it, but we have the round canvas that I can show you on. So let me actually move some of this out of the way here because I wanted to show off that texture of the paper. Now I put in a couple of different colors. This up here is the Marie's Masters watercolor, just a couple of different colors from their set of 12. And then I have two of the super granulator colors from Schminke. This is the Hordem Aquarelle. So I just wanted to show how the granulation colors look on their different papers in case you're using granulating colors, or even if you're using like a more traditional standard color, because they are going to react slightly differently, but it really shows off the texture of the paper. But I can also show you on the one that's not actually painted on, the texture of this right here. So that is the Italia, which is
cold press.
Cold press.
Exactly.
So that is the texture you are going to get.
Exactly. And the way that we give our papers these textures, these different textures, it's through marking felts, woolen marking felts, that basically are pressed onto our sheet of paper that rolls through a battery of presses, and the paper stock, when it rolls through those batteries, is still wet. So the paper stock is still wet, and in this way the felt is going to mark the surface. So depending on whether you're using, for example, a cold press marking felt, there will be some knots inside of the felt, so they will be smaller, of course, in this case, because the cold press is not that rough.
Yeah, but that's what's giving that actual texture.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. That is so fun.
Yeah.
Knots. Who would have thunk? All right, so that is the Italia, and I'm going to actually stick this over here for just a second and grab the Portofino, because I feel like that one is hot press, so it feels like it's just right in line, you know? And again, this is the pad, not the block, so it's only glued on the one side.
Exactly.
And actually just turn it this way.
This is actually a square size. We have 3 different square sizes inside our watercolor range, so you'll have plenty of choice there to choose your preferred one. We also have landscape sizes, as you saw before. We have portrait size. We have a lot of different sizes, so be sure that Magnani will always find the correct size.
Yes, you guys have so many options.
Yeah,
so many options. And this is really flowing on there just so
this
beautifully.
is the hot press surface. So here in this case, we don't have any surface at all. The paper is completely smooth, and it's very appreciated by our users, actually. It's super, super smooth. And obviously, as I said before, in the Italia case and the cold press case, we had a marking felt. In this case, in the Portofino hot press, we don't use any marking felts, but the paper at the end, it goes through a steel cylinder, and a way I can explain what happens is basically it's ironed, like you
it's ironed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you iron it at home, your clothes.
Okay.
So
like pressing your clothes.
Exactly.
That makes sense. Yeah, because it's a hot press. Look at that. Makes total sense. It's one of those things where eventually my brain will get there, and it has to connect the dots.
Yeah, sure.
But takes it a second. So I can still see the super granulating colors do the thing that they do, which is granulate, and they do want to sink into the paper, but there's no surface texture to sink into, so it's just kind of flowing with the water. So you get a very different feel from the cold press, which is lovely. And again, the blue and the green up here are just the Marie's Masters watercolors, which is a very traditional normal watercolor that doesn't like intentionally granulate like these two do down here. But I can't see this is drying quite quickly, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So I feel like...
Exactly. This leads to another very important thing that is characteristic of our papers. All of our watercolor papers have a double sizing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that. What that means is that they're internally and externally sized. The sizing makes sure basically to give the paper the correct resistance to water, inks, watercolors, and any liquids that you put onto your paper. It makes the paper less absorbent, and it makes sure that the ink stays on top of the paper. For example, a little bit of history background. Paper was invented actually in 105 AD in China. It then came through the Arabs and the Silk Road to Europe. I think it was year 12,000 or so. But what happened is that the paper that the Chinese invented was completely absorbent. So there was no sizing at all. And this would make your paper not a reliable surface. You couldn't write, paint, or do anything. You couldn't do anything with that paper.
Yeah.
So that's when, in Italy, they actually invented the sizing. And originally, the sizing was a animal gelatin-based sizing. Some brands still use that today, which is completely fine. But in Magnani, there has been some progress on that, and we are proudly to say that all our papers today are vegan friendly, meaning that they are 100% with a chemical sizing.
Animal friendly. Love this. Now,
Yeah.
I think we have questions. So before I jump into this, ask away.
Okay, so this is a two-part question.
Okay.
The type of sizing you mentioned was vegetable sizing. Is it internal, external, both? And on the flip side of that, can you use both sides of the paper?
Yes, so both our sizings, internally and externally, are both vegan friendly sizings. So both of them are vegetable based. I will not dig in deeper into that because it's a secret.
Secret recipe, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can be sure that it's not animals.
Absolutely,
Which
absolutely.
is important.
And yeah, you can actually use both sides of our paper because as we produce on a mold machine, on a cylinder mold machine, the paper flows through a vat of sizing. It's actually a bath. The paper takes a dip into this bath, and it completely, on both sides, takes the external sizing. So you can absolutely use both sides. Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. Question.
Eric on Facebook was wondering if there's a type that's best for salt effects.
I think the cold press is the go-to. I think it's also the most common one.
Yeah. Now, with the salt effect, though, if you are looking for that to be the only texture and not have the texture from the paper, then hot press would be good.
Yeah.
But, I mean, even the rough press would be great because they're all going to have that same reaction.
Exactly.
I think
it's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what works best for you.
I think it would be personal preference at that point.
Yeah.
But salt away. Do we have another question?
Yes. You touched on the optical brighteners before. This paper, the Magnani 1404, is resistant to yellowing over time?
Absolutely. As it's acid free, so it's 100% cotton, which means that it's naturally lignin free. It is absolutely resistant against yellowing over time. Yeah.
Wonderful. Which I think is, again, so important, especially if we're trying to keep our artwork preserved over time.
Absolutely. And one thing that I discovered talking to a lot of artists is that a lot of artists sometimes are afraid to buy rather expensive watercolor papers because these are rather expensive.
And even when we do buy them, we hang on to them like crazy because we're like, it's precious.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to say. For
Yes.
example, I met an artist who had a pet of ours inside his his closet, and he never wanted to use it because it's so precious and it was so expensive. But then
Such nice paper.
Yeah, but then he actually tried to paint on our paper, and he told me that it was completely different from any other paper that he had used. His technique was rather easy, so the painting was much more easy on our papers than, for example, on not so expensive papers. So when you're choosing your surface, please always make sure that you evaluate the pros and cons, because the right paper can change your way of painting.
Oh, for sure. And that's, if you're not having to fight the paper, you're going to have a much better experience. You're going to have a much better time painting. You're going to be able to produce more artwork that you love because you're going to be happy when you paint with it. And let's be honest, as artists, our emotions come through on our paintings, and I can't tell you how many times I've gotten angry with a piece and just walked away from it. I'm just like, I'm not painting this anymore. And then Katie's shaking her head, yes. But I mean, we also have to force ourselves back into it. But when you have a wonderful paper to paint on, it really makes a huge difference with the whole experience.
Absolutely.
Another question?
If you're looking to try this paper, the 6x6 inch pad is only $8.40.
$8.40 as of today. So if you're watching this in the future and the price is a little different, I'm sorry. But yeah, they're actually an incredible price, and it's on sale. On sale? Or is that?
That's the regular price.
That's the regular price. It's a 6x6. I mean,
So make sure you get it.
yes. Now, if you are interested in trying this paper, make sure you stick around to the end of the show, because we do have some giveaways too. So I'm so excited. But before we jump to that, you do have to stick around though, because we have to show off the Toscana paper next.
We already showed it off.
The Toscana? I thought we did the Italia and the...
This one. You
Well,
painted on.
yes, I painted on it, but we haven't shown
Okay.
off the...
Okay, sorry.
Let's talk about it and the surface texture in comparison, especially to the Italia,
yeah,
because this is the rough press, right? Toscana.
Yeah, Toscana is rough. Great, Emmy. You already
Look
got
at that. I'm learning. So as you can see, again, the granulating words. The granulating colors are doing what they do, and they are granulating beautifully. But because of that texture being more prominent, I think it's really making the texture more prominent within that granulation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
As the rough press has way more peaks and valleys. You know, you have more deeper knots on the marking felt, and so it's way rougher. And I think these colors render perfectly on the rough press.
Mm-hmm. And then again, this is the more traditional watercolor that doesn't specifically granulate like these two do. So you can see kind of the difference and how they sit in the paper, which is stunning. And then of course, I want to show off also the paper in the as dim lighting as I can if I turn it, so that you guys can really see that texture, which is
exactly.
just stunning. Look at that. Oh,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Question?
So we mentioned that both sides of the paper can be used. Is the texture the same on both sides of the paper?
It's not going to be exactly the same, even though we use two marking felts. When we produce, we always use two sets of marking felts, one on the top, which is going to mark the top of the paper, and one on the bottom, which is going to mark the bottom of the paper. But of course, because of production reasons, it's not going to be exactly the same as on top, but it's up to you. You can, if you, I know a lot of artists that prefer to use the back side of our paper, so whatever works best for you, you can use both of them.
And I was gonna say, I'm not seeing, because I mean, if I literally flip this, I'm not seeing a massive difference
No.
between the texture. Like, it's not like you can see one is like massively different. Like, this is, again, I just took the book and flipped it open, so you can see that's the back side of the paper. This is the front. And to my eye, if I were to take these out of the book, I would probably not be able to tell you which one's which
Yeah, maybe
while I'm doing
it's
this.
me, you know.
I feel like you would be able to tell.
Yeah.
But you know and love this paper. Now, again, I wanted to show the difference between the circular one right here is the Italia, which is cold press.
Correct.
And then this one that is the rectangle is the rough press. So there's the difference between the two of them.
Exactly. The cold press is the most appreciated one throughout watercolor artists. It's the go-to watercolor surface if you want to paint landscape. But for example, the rough press has been, let's say, it was that surface that people were, let's say, more afraid of. But it has gained popularity over the years, and myself personally, I find it a beautiful surface to paint on. Rather, for example, the hot press is perfect.
This right here.
Exactly.
Excuse the fact that I did kind of nip it with the.
Yeah.
That was me going really fast. Sorry. I was trying to rip it off of there as quickly as possible, but this is the hot press, which I was trying to show earlier. And I was like, I don't know if that's showing because it's so smooth that like there's just nothing.
Yeah.
There's no surface texture.
Super smooth, and people really love it for that.
Oh, yeah.
And it's perfect, for example, if you want to paint, for example, illustrators or like very fine details, for example, or also the botanical art. So that's perfect for those purposes.
Yeah, no, illustration, that would be my immediate go-to because I would want absolutely no surface texture showing through if I'm trying to reproduce it for, say, magazine or an online publication. I just want the artwork and not the texture because then I don't have to Photoshop it out, which is wonderful.
See, it saves time.
It does, it does. All right, so we have as well, instead of all of the books and blocks and things, we also have...
Oh yeah, of course. We have the sheets. So we have the 22 by 30 sheets. They come in both grammages, in the 300 pounds and the 140 pounds. Yeah.
I'm trying to not put this on top of all of the paint that I just put over here. Excuse me. Because I do want to, we have to show off
Yeah, we have to show
beautiful
two
watermarks.
things.
Yes.
Two things that are characteristic to sheets of paper that are produced on a mold cylinder machine. The first one is the distinctive decollages. I don't know if you can show it.
I'm gonna, let's actually go, to that side camera. Sorry. This is a really large sheet of paper that I'm trying to show on the camera. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
there you see it. So those are the distinctive decollages. They can only be made on papers that are either handmade or on a mold machine. So they don't have, let's say, any technical purpose. It doesn't give, but it gives you...
But they look pretty.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you the flair and the essence of a handmade paper, but with the consistency of a mechanically produced paper.
And I'm rotating this around so you guys can see that it is on all four sides.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if I rotated it around enough.
There
One
is.
more thing.
Yeah. Another very important thing when producing on a cylinder mold machine is that you're able to produce watermarks. And watermarks were also invented in Italy. They attest that the paper is genuine and therefore of high quality, and of course it also helps to discourage counterfeiting. So if you get a sheet of paper,
and
yeah,
line this up. I hope that the camera is picking this up. It is probably way too bright. Hold on. Let's.
maybe.
Can you see it there? There it is. I just have to lift it. I'm sorry. And it is here on the corner.
Yeah, on
right
the
where my
bottom
hand is.
right corner of every sheet that we produce, you see the Magnani 1404 watermark. This, basically, what is a watermark? A watermark is a thinner layer of fibers. So I told you before, when we produce on a cylinder mold machine, we have the wire mesh that is covering our cylinder, and what we do is we apply this watermark, so it can be a text or a design or whatever. We apply it on the mesh, and when the cylinder rotates and picks up the stock, the cotton pulp, what happens is that in that specific point, it will have a thinner layer of fibers. So, yeah.
As I've seen, I think we have, one of the photos of the actual watermark kind of logo on the mesh cylinder. I think on our website. I think that's one of the images that you can see on there, and it's so cool to see what they use to create that watermark. But yeah, that would make sense that it would be a thinner layer just because it's already sticking up.
Exactly, and you can only see it when you backlight the paper. When you look at it without backlighting it, you won't see anything, and is a security feature of the paper. It's the most ancient security feature in paper history.
Which, I mean, it's on every paper that I've ever seen, so it just makes so much sense.
And it's on every banknote.
That's true. That's very true. It's, I mean, important so that people can't steal the Magnani name.
Exactly.
Because we want to make sure that we have the right paper.
Absolutely.
All right, so do we have any other questions at the moment? Yes.
Do you guys make sketchbooks?
Yes, we also have sketchbook. It's like sketch pads. So, but I think
I was gonna say, in all reality, the pad would be absolutely perfect to use it like a sketch pad.
You can also use these papers. They are born to obviously for watercolor technique and every other wet technique, gouache, ink, whatever. But of course you can also use it for sketching or drawing or whatever.
How about acrylics?
Yes, we also have a dedicated acrylic pad. You can also use acrylics, of course, on biggies, but we also have an acrylic pad, I think, that we're going to go over next time.
Ooh. So make sure you join us next time that we have Lisa on.
Absolutely.
Which I believe is going to be in the fall.
So
in case you guys are looking for that show.
Yeah.
That'll be a later thing to go over. So we, of course, don't want to keep all these amazing papers to ourselves. We want to share them with you guys.
Absolutely.
Yes. We want you guys to be able to experience these as well. Now, not only have we got a giveaway, we've got 6 giveaways because Lisa is amazing and so is Magnani, and they just wanted to make sure that we have 6 giveaways for all of the winners that are going to be chosen. Now, I know you guys are wondering how we're going to enter this prize, to get the prize. So we have my amazing moderators, Amanda and Frida, that are going to be putting in the chats a link to a form that you can fill out to capture your information. And then we're going to use that information to draw winners. Now that form will be open until, I believe it's confirmation Friday. Yes. This coming Friday, which is the 31st, May 31st? Yes. So May 31st, the form will shut down, or after May 31st, I'm sorry, it will shut down, and then we will pick winners the following week. And we actually have to show what you're going to win. I'm sorry. I can't grab the last one. I'm sorry. Reach across. Okay, so we're going to have 6 winners, and each winner is going to receive a round and a landscapey block. We do have 3 different versions, obviously, because we have the 3 different presses. We have the Italia, the Portofino, and the Toscana. Yes. So when you win, you will receive 1 type, and it will be the 2 pads.
Absolutely.
So hopefully that makes sense.
And also a cotton pouch, don't forget.
Yes. So don't lose your cotton pouch. It is important for the round.
Yeah.
Little guys. So I believe, though, that is the show. Unless we have any last minute questions, although I feel like we're going to have all the people entering the contest, and I'm really excited about that. So I hope you guys...
Ooh, you said giveaway.
I love when we get the collective oohs and ahs for the giveaways. I hope you guys are excited about it because this is amazing paper, and definitely fill out that form. I do believe there is a little question there because we are curious to know which one you are so excited about. But definitely fill that out, and we will be picking winners next week. And we'll be posting that on our social media, I believe on Facebook. How are we gonna announce this? Sorry.
We had said that we were going to contact via email.
Okay, contact via email. This is why I'm asking. Sorry, because we did not discuss this. I'm sorry. We're going to contact you via email, and it will be coming from a Jerry's Artarama email. Make sure you do not answer any other weird emails in case that happens. But it's specifically a Artarama official email. So that is how we will contact the winners.
And we will never ask for financial information to give you a prize.
That, and in case you didn't hear that, we will never ask for financial information to get a prize. This is a free prize. You don't need any financial information, just in case. So that way you guys can get your amazing prizes, but we will announce next week who's going to be the winner. So I hope you guys are excited, as excited as I am, because these are incredible, incredible papers. Yeah. So Lisa, thank you so much for being on the show and coming all the way from Italy.
Yeah,
Lisa came all the way from Italy.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It was a blast.
Yes. If you guys, of course, also make sure you join us next week because Michaela and I are actually both going to be on. And we're going to be showing you amazing oil paints. And I cannot wait because this is the new line of Tuscan Pine oils that we have been in the works for quite a while. And we've been diligently working on behind the scenes. So it's going to be a blast next week as well with Michaela and I. And that was the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, we will see you guys next time. Bye.